Hey everyone, it's time to look into the future. Alright, as always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos, and today, yes, I obviously want to talk about this blue future boy. He looks very cool. But, I also wanted to take the time to talk about this dude that has met a different blue future boy, and is also very, very colorful in his own right. We will be talking about these two movie things at the end of the video, but before that, I did want to hop into the two candy toy blogs that updated last night. And yeah, it's two of them. This is 4. It's 2 of them, so that's very cool. Let's actually just dive right into what the Kamen Rider Candy Toy blog had for us last night, and it is, well, it's just Ryuki stuff. It's Ryuki stuff that we already sort of knew about. This is their review of Kamen Rider Night Survive. They told us they were doing this last week. They did note that, hey, we're updating next week. We don't typically do this. And then it was just the Ryuki stuff. I was honestly hoping that maybe they'd throw in a curveball that we'll talk about later on in this video. But for now, this is what we have, and he looks pretty good. Here's the front, here's the back, you know the drill. They also decided to give us a little bit of a side-by-side comparison with the initial release of the Night figure, and it looks pretty good. You know, it's mostly the same mold. I don't know what else to tell you. Actually, I do know what else to tell you. The differences in this mold actually stem from the visor here. This is a newly molded visor, and it's got full paint. Because it is molded in clear plastic, they are going to have to paint the whole thing to make it look any sort of good. Also, like I said, clear plastic, so the eyes are going to show through from behind. We talk about that a lot. We talk about how they accomplish that. I still really love it, so definitely appreciate that here in this release. Another thing is that they gave us a look at this chest. One thing to note about it is that the front side, fully painted. All the golds, all the blues, paint. Very good. I don't know if I can say the same about the back. And also, it looks like the collar's doing some sticker stuff around here, but it's mostly painted, and I can definitely get behind this. Another thing about it is that the shoulder pad is mounted differently than most other Soto releases. And I guess for the last 2 Soto Chronicle releases, they have had some non-standard shoulder pad mounting, and this is just another variation on that, and it gets out of the way just fine. This is perfectly serviceable. It's mostly like all the Kamen Rider Gaim Chronicle releases, so good stuff here. Also, we get a nice look at the cape, and it actually has a lot more articulation than I thought it would from the outset. So it's mounted upon two hinges, I guess. There are 2 axes of movement here. You peg it in, and the thing that you peg in is a hinge itself. So it goes up, it swings around. You have tons and tons of options here, and I really like it. Because I'll be honest, I thought that they'd just peg it in and you'd be fine. Like that's what we've sort of been getting recently, or at least I guess with Saber we're moving out of that realm and they've been giving us this extra joint. So I am happy to see that continue here. Another thing to note is that if you really wanted, like really wanted more options with the cape, you could purchase the Dark Raider set, the premium Bandai Dark Raider set that is very expensive, and add in the extra cape pieces that it comes with. Ooh, I mean, it's a cool option, but like, it's very expensive, so hopefully you're getting the Dark Raider set for Dark Raider and not just this. It's a neat bonus. Also, for this figure specifically, it's got new boots. I guess it's very tough for them to like come up with new information because a lot of these base bodies are the same, but these legs are different. They just wanted to talk about it. They look fine. Anyway, yeah, also, accessory-wise, he not only comes with that main sword that you saw earlier, but he does have the different versions of his visor. I think this was the Zwei version of his main visor, and it looks pretty good. Each version does, at least. So the ones we get are a shield version. We also get an open version, so it looks like you're placing cards in. And also, we get the shoot vent version. So that's awesome. I appreciate anytime they give us, you know, different options like this, and it recreates one of the vents. So I don't know, that's something they're always on about, and I really appreciate it. Also, in addition to all this, there is a dagger mode for the sword. I did forget if the retail release comes with it or if it comes in the Dark Raider set, but what I know is exclusive to the Dark Raider set is the card that he's holding there. That is the card to summon Dark Raider, and yeah, like I said, you can buy it and it goes really well. It's just super expensive, so, you know, temper your expectations there. It's a very nice set. And you can still pre-order those, I believe. You know, check with Token Collectibles and any other major importer if you are still in the market for something like this. So yeah, that's really cool. On top of that, like, this is the end of Ryuki 2. All the reveals for Ryuki 2, we'll probably get one for Ryuki 3 once that rolls around, but this is coming out soon. And to commemorate that, they decided to give us a brand new trailer, a brand new commercial. It looked really, really cool, and I would highly recommend taking a look at it. It's either in the eye icon above, or it's going to be linked in the description down below, or just in the thread that I typically do on Twitter. It should be in that thread. Definitely check that out. Another thing to check out is something they updated on, like, Bandai Candy itself. I don't have all the pictures from it because I want you to go there, but they recreated a whole bunch of scenes from the first few episodes, or just random episodes within Ryuki, with these Shoto figures, and they look good. Like, these are professionally done. And yeah, like I said, check those out. It's so much fun. But yeah, anyway, there were no surprises this week for Shoto Chronicle, but what surprises there were came in the form of Shoto Super. That also has a very crummy image here. I don't know why they do this for thumbnails. It really sucks. So let's take a look at this. So basically, they said, hey, Superhero Time didn't come out today because, you know, they're doing some sort of sports something or other. So they decided to talk to, I guess, the mainstream audience that shows up each and every week for some Sentai news to talk about the Shoto Super line, because, to be fair, it is a premium Bandai line, and not too many people are into it because of that. But yeah, they did a very detailed breakdown about who they are, what they do, and what the mentality behind Shoto Super was, and it was pretty interesting, though we did not get too much new information. So if you want to get more in depth with this, I do have that linked in the description down below as well for you to check out. But what I will tell you is that they did give us new information. So first off, there we go. So they showed off all of the new Gao Ranger figures that should be coming out in January, I believe. Either that or June Ranger comes out. I'm getting all my dates mixed up. This is a terrible news video. But hey, all of the Gao Rangers were showed off as they were talking about what Shoto really stands for and what they want to do with Shoto. It's a very neat read. Like I said, definitely recommend it. But they did give us, like, our looks at these new molds, and they look absolutely fantastic. And, you know, they talked about the mentality behind how to make the chest and the rest of the body look like cloth, while the helmet is nice and glossy. It makes it look like an actual helmet. So yeah, check that out. But they also decided to reveal that they had in-hand samples for the Jew Ranger figures. So these are way further in pre-production than Gao Rangers, the Gao Rangers are, because the Gao Rangers are coming out sooner. But yeah, they gave us, like, individual looks at these guys. Here's Tyranno Ranger. He has a special diamond there for reasons that we'll get to later. Here's a close-up look at the helmet, so you could get a lot of those details in there. We also have Mammoth Ranger. Another close-up here, and Tricera Ranger, another close-up, Tiger Ranger, close-up, And they also wanted to note that his fangs are like actually like getting into that visor. And we also have Terra Ranger, and if you're noticing here that the head, the skirt, and the hands, those are all white, that's because those are molded in PVC, and that's done in a softer plastic, and that really helps out, you know, a lot of not just the articulation, but it helps out like in terms of letting them paint the helmet and the skirt and control the looks of those finishes. Also, obviously, here is the helmet, and then we have Dragon Ranger, the special boy. This is the close-up look at his head, but something they did want to note is that, hey, he does actually have a holstered dagger here, a special place for that. He has his shield, and this shield is their first attempt at a sort of pseudo form changing gimmick. Basically, you can put it on the Red Ranger by taking out his diamond, and you know, like this, and then taking all of the shield portion stuff and laying it over the body and plugging in the gold part of the diamond. So that's really cool. Also, they did say that the since this is a pre-production sample, this yellow isn't going to stay, or at least they don't know if they're going to keep the yellow. All they do know is whatever the color they end up going with for the shield, they are going to paint over it and make sure it looks gold. So that's good. I believe that's about it for this guy. When you do change him, he does come with the little cuffs, so you are getting the extra ones. If you want more coverage on that, we've done that on this channel, so definitely check that out. But also, that's not all they left us with. So they finished up their look at these guys, but then they gave us a little bit of a teaser. They said that, hey, the next Shoto Super has actually already been decided on. And on top of that, they gave us the information toward the end of their whole overview that, hey, Jew Ranger, right now, these figures that are up for pre-order now are very important figures to them, because these mark the first release they're doing that isn't tied to a currently released Super Mini-Pla team. And on top of that, they did want to expand outside of the Super Mini-Pla range, so they're not like locked and tied into SMP all the time. They want to branch out and do different teams, and I think that's really, really cool, and this team is the very first step to that. So, like I said, they have decided on what the next team will be, and they dropped us a little bit of a hint that is so muddled and so confusing, because genuinely, I'm not Japanese, I do not know Japanese, but Blade Raider had pointed out to us on Twitter that a lot of the Japanese audience is thinking that this here is sort of the tune of Go Kaiger, like one of the songs in Go Kaiger like goes to this beat. Like I said, I don't know Japanese, and I don't want to put any information out there that is inaccurate, so I will say that is what some of the Japanese audience is saying about this, and I will say that Tengo Kaiger is coming out soon, and it would be beneficial to them for them to capitalize on this as much as possible. We have the Mobirates, we have all these Ranger key sets. It is only fair that Candy Toy gets to throw their hat in the ring. I hope it's Go Kaiger, I really do, but like I said, we don't know Japanese here. I really want to make sure that's verified information. So right now, I will say it is just speculation, but it's very hopeful speculation, and I really hope it is Go Kaiger. If not, then, you know, any other team I'm game for. I really love this line, and I can't wait to see more. But hey, speaking about future movies, let's talk about the 10th anniversary of Kamen Rider O's, because this movie is coming out, and this information dropped like a day before the Soto blog did. So genuinely, I thought like, oh hey, the blog said we're going to release a blog when we don't typically do that. If superhero time doesn't go up, then we don't update. But we are updating today for some reason. Turns out it was just Dark Raider, but this movie has shown us some very cool images of this brand new O's form, which I believe is like laced with Ankh, which is very cool. We also have a brand new form for Birth that looks awesome. And this old dude, which is basically like one of the O's suits that they accidentally left out in the sun and decided to throw a cape onto and call it a day. So this guy looks very neat. And then also, whoever this bad guy is, they probably have names. I didn't care to learn about them. All I know is that I want toys of them. And I feel like Shodo would be, you know, it would be a good idea for them to do it. I don't know why they wouldn't, unless they wanted to retire the O's molds, because to be fair, those are a little outdated, a little old. I do kind of want some more updated, more articulate versions of the O's figures that actually form swap a little happier. But if they do go with those molds, they have plenty to work with, because a lot of these forms are just mold reuses of other things. So hey, definitely have options here. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you think we have a good chance of getting these, I personally do, just because it would be so easy for them to throw all 4 of them into a premium Bandai set. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Speaking of movies still, we did get the reveal the other day during, I believe, like this poll for some sort of Kamen Rider popularity contest. Whatever. It doesn't bother me if some riders are more popular than others, but they did just give us this brand new blue boy, and he looks very cool. This is Kamen Rider Century from 2071, and he kind of just looks like a 01 character. I don't know. Either way, I definitely think that this is just going to get a Shodo figure eventually. Like, he's probably just going to show up in the main wave. There's no surprises in terms of that. Like, I for sure think he's going to be coming in Shodo. If he doesn't, I will be very confused and very, taken aback by that move. But I do think that this is coming to Shodo. The issue is that this guy is going to need a lot of clear translucent pieces. So, like I said, Shodo is probably going to do it, but this might take them some time to like work around the budget and whatnot to make sure to get this one right. And we saw earlier that Kamen Rider, the Spider-Man, the Kamen Rider Spider-Man guy, he did not include his hands because they weren't able to get the product testing in time to include the open hands for him. So we know that production is maybe a bit tight, so I don't know if we'll be seeing him soon. This guy might be pushed back, but let me know in the comments down below. I'm no expert here. I'm just speculating off of the information that we have, that we've had before. Anyway, that's it for me. It has been, 18 minutes. This has been a long time. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me and having some fun talking about candy toys. And also, as always, there are links in the description down below to where you can buy some Zenkaiger merch that I made myself. If you want any of these, it'd be very cool. Also, there are other links in the description too where you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement, hashtag Stop Anti-Aging Hate, and also just a donation link to the Trevor Project. And if you want us to shout out any other charities, either head on into our Discord and then leave that in the We Want to Hear From You channel. That'd be very helpful. We'll take a look at those charities. Genuinely, I do want to start working on something with Toys for Tots, if we could just get some sort of donation link down in there. Who knows? I have no idea. But thank you so much for watching. Keep it